Hey guys, it's Stark coming at you with another episode of Hardcore Minecraft. The splash screen says "Engage," which, as everybody knows, is what Jean-Luc Picard of the USS Enterprise says whenever they are about to start up the engine to go somewhere, either far away or close. It is his catchphrase. I know I don't have to explain that to everyone, but I, I mean, to be more precise, I don't have to explain that to anybody. I'm under a few obligations, and none of them involve the explanation of references, but somehow never seem to be able to help myself. Ran out of fuel already? How sad. Well, it seems then that we will toss in a bunch of planks, and that'll be fine. You know, we won't burn up all the charcoal immediately, I don't think. We can always come back for more at a later date. So what I want to do now is just get a little bit more emeralds. Check out the old sniffer egg. Cut down some more trees. And then ultimately jump in a boat and go somewhere. Not interesting, hopefully not interesting. Just a place where we can take samples of the various materials and then come back and build a new and greater meadow than before. Although meadow is the term for the mountainous region, I think. I often think of it as the plains with flowers in it. Which are, of course, you know, called plains. And our marvelous wealth increases. Gonna go and grab a whole bunch more eggs again. And they're not like so crowded that we have to cull the herd right now. And anyway, if you ever go in and you don't get like an entirely full inventory of eggs, that means, you know, probably a few more chickens before you start swinging the sword of destruction upon them. Although really that's up to the individual holding the sword when the appropriate time is. And I did not throw the sword down intentionally as I said those words. Y'all know I am not capable of such planning. We're just gonna run over here and toss some of the melons and pumpkins into this box and move on over and try to librarian cycle some real quick up here. Because that is apparently a part of every day of my life now. And the thing is that in the event that I ever get a good librarian, all I'll have to do is build a nice and secure building around him. That one gives you Bane of Arthropods 5. As we know, arthropods are the things that you would call insects, and then a whole lot of other things too. But I haven't seen any other arthropods around that I care about other than spiders to try to slay. And it would be like, I'm considering the efficiency of picking up and throwing this down. But after a few more, I will decide that I don't want to do it anymore. Maybe I could like improve this method somewhat. I could like trap them in a house, you know, politely trap them into a house. And this fellow is coming for the job because, yeah, as it stands, it's like there's too many of them that have access to it, so it takes too long for them to figure out the jobs there. Like if I put it here, will less of them be able to see, or it's the same problem? I do not love that sound. It's probably in that void beneath us. Alright, we're just not going to be over on that side. We'll be able to easily pretend it doesn't happen if we don't go over there. So it's either nighttime or they're just running around listless again. Alright, so we can, we'll break this and put the lectern in the corner. And then it's just a matter of convincing one of them to go inside, right? There you go. And then as soon as he moves a little closer, we will... There we go. Totally good. Perfect. And now we'll be able to hopefully have him and only him moving to this job block. Alright, yeah. Much better. Please get on the block. Alright, this is, you know, I would understand if you don't want to hang out for this. I should find something to talk about. Did he pick it up? Alright, he just picked up the lectern. That means he doesn't want to be a librarian. Well, you know, it was a good idea. We're going to do it in a slightly different fashion next time, maybe. But maybe we'll also just bring another couple lecterns. There we go. Oh, no, I don't know what happened, but it's back in my inventory now. But I feel like that's probably the wisest course of action, right? I'll just blockade one of them in a house and force them to learn until they learn the sort of magic books that I'm looking for. Which, look, I'm not a monster. It's just, it seems like the best way to do it. And speaking of not a monster, alright, the sniffer egg is at hatch number 2. You can tell that there are visible cracks on it, even from relatively far away. So that's pretty nice. And, yeah, we'll, just run over here. What other arthropod damage could you be getting? Well, I don't know all the mobs in the game. Oh my goodness, look how handsome that cat is. He's got little socks. Come here, little stylish cat. No, you will be my best friend. One of them. Come on now. Oh my goodness, he's so quick. No, this is probably a lady. Come on now. Hooray! Come this way, cat. Come in and out of the rain. Yes, hang out and keep these people company. Absolutely. Alright, so there's... It looks like this guy doesn't even have a bed, but he could just, like, go find a bed somewhere else, so I'm not that sympathetic. Like, have you, the bedless, simply considered finding a bed? We're just going to go ahead and run home for the night, picking up lots of steaks whenever we return. They should have been smelting this whole time, and probably were. It's the magic of having a proper setup. Here, Garuda, a wonderful seed. Hello, brilliantly running around Delay. Yes, they're still having a great time. You know what? Perhaps they want to hold a diamond. That is what a generous guy I am. I'll trade you, buddy. Alright. He really likes that diamond. Alright, now we've got that. Oh yeah, look at him. He's just zooming around holding a diamond now. Our fairy guardian. He brings us good luck. And it should just be going on about time to lay down for bed. We'll put the diamonds up. Don't want to be running around without them. You have to make sure to get the cat off of the bed before he's told to sit down to prevent mishaps. Alright, and now armed with a trusty bag of steaks, we'll be able to strike out into the world. This is slightly too much stuff, isn't it? I'm just not going to need a lava bucket, am I? I don't know. It's just as good as flint and steel if I see a pillager tower to burn it down. Probably, and then I could pick up the lava at the end. No, we'll just leave it here. I definitely want the water bucket, though. And you have to go with a stack of planks, and you want a bow and arrow. I don't need the salmon. Have to have the spyglass. The lecterns, we've already done a couple of lectern cycles here. But we will bring them down to the village proper. And the clock we want, the stuff we want. Not the iron pickaxe, because we're not going to be doing that kind of adventuring where we could even find diamonds. And iron is a bit superfluous at this point, since I have many hundreds of it, and am relatively uninterested in using it for anything. Perhaps I should have gotten another axe, but this one will have a bit of life in it, and like these other pieces of gear, that's really all we have to have for right now. We've got some torches, which is fine. We don't really need to be able to break a lot of ground here. We're just going to check on the sniffer egg one more time, and if it doesn't hatch, we're going to grab a boat first. And if it does hatch, then we'll hang out and see what's going on there. And if it doesn't, then we will boat around most boatily and go some direction we haven't seen in search of flowers and, that kind of thing. What? Oh, it's so cute. Don't attack me. We're friends, right? Yep. All right, this is a sniffer. It's got like big old ears that cover its eyes like a basset hound, and looks like feathered, so it's like a feathered dinosaur thing, and it sniffs around, and yeah, just what it sounds like. Very cool. And it is not hostile. Very important. I don't know if it can defend itself. It's out here pretty far from civilization. But upon inspection, it just mainly hangs out. So people said that they sometimes dig up treasure and stuff. We'll just check on them whenever we are by the area and see, what's going on there. But For right now, we're just going to strike out at the more or less open ocean, and you know, the more times we do this, the less new things we're going to be able to see. But if we see a big old field of flowers, then we will purloin them to make a more beautiful entryway. It's already pretty nice, though I flatter myself to say it. I think we can just run over here and crack the nether portal, because we won't want to make it over here, and that'll give us enough obsidian to maybe go back into the nether here in a video or two whenever I want to do that again. Man, it was more intense than I had bargained for, but it's important to be brave. Very important. Because if you aren't willing to be bold at all, then like, what are you doing in hardcore, right? But the thing about control is it's always an illusion. But in hardcore Minecraft, that illusion of control is, when it's pierced, it's so swift. And in a way, it's almost funny, because I feel like every time it happens that I like put my hands on my head in dismay. But I mean, I probably do. But it's you know, that's the thing people do for dismay for a reason. It's an involuntary expression of our feelings about loss. But hardcore is not interesting only because you can die, but certainly that is an element of it. Because otherwise, I mean, like, it wouldn't matter at all. While I'm unlikely today to die, you know, running through a sunny field, longtime viewers remember that has happened after a peaceful day of farming in broad daylight. I provoked an Enderman and died, and that was a good world. It wasn't anything like as long as this one, where I've been in here for 140 Minecraft days. But I had a great fondness for it. I think it's prettier than this world, at least from what I'd seen so far. But I had a great amount of cherry trees, and there were various flower forests and groves and such all over the place. Just a really beautiful place. Not that this one is any slouch. This is a beautiful area as well. And you know what that means? It means it is time for me to acquire some rose bushes. May all of the beautiful things in the world be mine and mine alone. I don't think there's too many things to think about sampling in spruce forest, but then again, maybe there are, because I've already got the spruces. There's the weird mossy cobblestone that, if you're not in a spruce forest, seems to indicate something, but in spruce it just generates all over the place. Here we've got an azalea tree, which means there's a lush cave around, according to the people and my own experience, which, you know, I would trust anyone's information about Minecraft more than mine. But if it lines up with what I'm thinking and then everybody else agrees, then I definitely think it's the case. But we're just gonna go down this river, the river of spruce. Where are we at? Negative 2k. Yeah, so we're actually not terribly far from home, which that makes sense. You know, we haven't been traveling that long. But this river goes for a bit, and we might as well travel down it and see if we see anything interesting from the sides of it. And if Ah, yes, some delightful thorny bushes, and I... Alright, I ran into some trouble there trying to get out of the boat. My polygon did not want to escape. I don't actually know if they're called polygons anymore. They should be. The thing about spruce forests is that they are fantastic for materials. Like, you get just a couple handfuls of saplings, and then you can get dozens and dozens and dozens of trees before you know it. And then you can make all the really tall ones. You get like 100 pieces of wood in just a short period of time with basically not having to move anywhere. But as with all beauty in the world, the beauty of roses or the beauty of trees or of lilacs, they're all destroyed beneath my covetous hand. And that's just the way that it has to be. We run into a dastardly attempt to keep us from going and stealing whatever we can find in the natural world. Sorry, appropriating whatever we can find in the natural world. But we're too tough for them. We're too smart. They're not going to be able to keep us out. And this little river, this is going to open up right at that other beach where that ship was at. Now, we already rated it for the treasure, but not for the map. No, we got the map. Or we got a similar map at a different ship. Yeah, that was over here because we dug it up on the beach that was right across. I remember. And there'll be a town over this way, kind of, I believe. We're just gonna head that way now. It's possible that I've misremembered. And it gets more possible the longer that I go down this way without seeing anything I recognize. But no, see, there's that little plateau thing. I think maybe it's just further on that side than on this one, where it is not on this one at all. That'll be okay. Nighttime on the overworld doesn't make me terribly nervous, especially not when I'm in a boat. Because I don't have to worry about forgetting to eat steak. Because normally, you run around, you hit a zombie a couple of times with a sword or a shovel or whatever, and then, if you don't just cram some steak down your mouth, then you have some trouble. But improbably, it doesn't take any energy to row a boat, which I've already talked about at length, I think. Using this Bane of Squids sword, we swing at a squid and do not hit them. This would be just the most beautiful place to be traveling through. I'm sure that the way that rivers generate and split things up, the way that I've seen it anyway, it makes it relatively likely that you'll get rivers like this, just like in the real world, where they cut through natural formations. And we might be reaching the mouth of this river. We are certainly reaching the mouth of these zombies. And if they're not carrying a trident, I don't even think I care. What is this? White dogs? Oh, marvelous. Okay, so that means I need to get bones. Or wait. No, what I need to do is right here. Have I found another terracotta ruin? My second one ever! Alright, so first I will need to place some torches, for it is night. And then I will need to gently examine this place. I need to be quite careful to not destroy any of the information that may lay beneath. It's the first time I ever found a terracotta ruin. I excavated all of it without knowing that I needed to try to preserve the suspicious sand, which is very shameful. Terrible practices. But just the presence of this mud brick with the terracotta, and that just makes me think I'm in the right spot. This is a suspicious gravel, and I'm going to take out my trusty brush and dust. And we get a candle out of it. All right. Nice brown candle. It's not lit. Can we light it with a torch? No. Well, if we had a flint and steel, perhaps we'd be able to light it. I'm afraid to use the shovel, because, like, if we get terracotta that's good, or gravel underneath it that's special, right, it would churn right through it. I need to be going up above this first to preserve the site, because otherwise, if there is gravel on the interior, we'd be breaking it. So we'll use the brush to break the gravel blocks. This is another suspicious one here. No, it's just the shadow. I have no idea how much suspicious gravel I should be expecting, but I do want to be careful to try to get all of it. I think none of this is suspicious here. Yeah, it all seems normal. But the suspicious gravel breaks, like, very, very quickly. All right, here's another one. Oh no, oh no. Okay, we got to get some distance. Figure out where it's coming from. All right. Here is the zombie that is trying to stop us from finding what belongs in museums. You know, I could just sleep for the night. Bet archaeology is slightly easier in the daytime, so you know we're gonna try out that idea. There's a creeper over there, so the number one thing we have to do is get away from our archaeological site. I need some bones, which we could have gotten at night, but I got distracted by the terracotta. I need bones because... Oh no, ow. Because these dogs, or wolves, but I think they look like dogs, are very handsome specimens. Nice Arctic-looking dogs, and smaller than a beloved dog of the past in my family named Montana, who is a Great Pyrenees, but sort of reminiscent in color of it. And there is the smoke of a campfire in that direction. So could be a friend, could be a foe. There's a dripstone cave over here. But what I'm concerned with right now is not possible enemies far away. I want to get to this archaeology. But this video is getting a little long. If I do a bunch of archaeology, then... Alright, so... I'm needing to find the difference. Alright, so in the center of these suspicious blocks, there's a blotch like so. And then the normal blocks, you don't get that at all. There's a sort of a blotch at one arc of it, but there you get like two big chunks of it. So that'll be what we're looking for. And as the shadow falls differently on it, it's much more apparent, the blotchiness of it. So if we knock this out of the way, yeah, it's quite easy to tell in equal numbers of light. But we're about to get pink stained glass? A pink stained glass pane. I don't think you can brush anything off of it. It's just the one brush. I don't think any of these are suspicious. I didn't want to rely totally on my blotch test, as I am just learning the field of archaeology, but it seems to be dealing well so far. Oh no. Alright, I've just done the blunder where I was removing a lower level that could have had gravel above it, so we need to get a little bit more space here. Obviously, we don't want to disturb any of the terracotta itself, and any cobblestone is organic cobblestone and not an aberration, so we want to preserve that as well. One of my my breakout videos, it's silly to call it that, it had like a couple of hundred views before any of my other Minecraft ones did, was I called it the anthropology of the terracotta people, and it was me like excavating after I'd excavated one of these ruins and just like presenting it like an enthusiastic anthropology student who like filled in all the gaps, and I did all of like the anthropology 101 memes of like ritual significance and that sort of stuff. It was a fun little video, and a lot of people liked it, and it was very gratifying to me. It's basically the only one of its kind where I sort of was like doing it as a bit the whole time, but I didn't find it forced. Like, they were the things running through my mind whenever I was digging it, and so like pretending to be a person that was genuinely excavating it in the real world of the game was just a simple jump for me. But it was one of my favorite early experiences with Minecraft for sure. And this is a suspicious one right here. You can tell by the circle, and we're getting a pottery shard. Excellent, excellent. Alright, I'm better at getting the suspicious ones. We might occasionally make a mistake still, but I feel better about it. I still think, though, that going with the brush gradually, that's important. I think if we use our efficiency shovel, then we'll probably mess up some of the blocks. Here's another suspicious block here, and inside of it, a smithing plan. A razor armor trim. So perhaps we now have a name for the people of the terracotta people. They're the razors. That could be an answer to a long-standing question I've had. So very, very awesome. Incredibly cool. And we're getting down into a further terracotta layer here. Very exciting. Now, before long, we're going to need to, like, sort of scaffold our way up. Because you don't want to get stuck down below in a clumsy situation. And also, I have no idea, like, if these are safe areas. For all I know, because I excavated my first one on Peaceful, for all I know, there could be, like, some weird stuff that happens whenever you get into the depths of one of these ruins. But I hope it's not true. I want it to be nice and safe. We're getting down to some nice orange terracotta glaze. It's so beautiful. It's intersected here by that mud brick slab, which sort of interferes with the beauty of it. The glazed terracotta form different images depending on how you orient them. Or, well, that's obvious, but they form pictures that seem to be intentional. That was probably a suspicious one, too. It broke slightly quicker than I thought it would. This one, nope, it's a gravel. Might have just been the wind. But, so the gravity comes in pockets. And once you get to dirt, then you're not going to have any more of it. So that at least lets us more safely do this. I think for this ruin, maybe it would be cool to try to rebuild it, like to try to understand the original intricacies of it and put it back together, since I will have done a much better job at preserving it than the last one that I found. Since we've already determined that all of this is not the suspicious gravel, it's still a little bit sketchy to go through it, since a efficiency shovel can just churn through things, but if we have the right angle, we shouldn't be knocking down anything that isn't intentionally part of the removal process. All right, yeah, we're making some real good progress here. And this is likely what I call the tower, but I have not been to enough of these to know if they have at all irregular construction. They could be just as varied stylistically and architecturally as any villages, but that will remain to be seen. This one is pretty close in proximity to a spruce forest, which is where I found my other one as well, so I'm not sure if they tend to be in those areas, or there was also the sign of a lush cave around, and perhaps they have to be around there because as they are terracotta builders, they need access to clay. The razors, as the trim says, but it'll be nice to throw that trim on some armor and see what the razors look like. But oh no, I've corrupted the site. I must fix it very quickly. The important thing is that no one will ever know. We'll just get in the boat and go in the direction of this little campfire thing over here, and no one will ever know. No one will ever have to know. No one will even want to know. I don't even know what I'm talking about anymore. Here it is on day 141 in this hardcore world, and I have never done anything wrong. Ah, here we are. Slightly obscured by all of these trees. A beautiful village. So let us go and see what's going on in it. You know, if I ever get famous, I'm going to make people listen to progressively longer poems, just like see how far I can push it. So like, hey guys, do you want to read the love song of J. Alfred Prufrock today? Let us go then, you and I, while the evening is laid out against the sky. And so on. Wait, jack-o'-lanterns? How fun! Alright, can I just take them, or do I destroy it? I probably would need Silk Touch. That's so cool that they celebrate Halloween. We're coming up here to the village center now, or rather the village bell. These villages are just hanging around at nighttime. Probably that thing where they loaded into the game as I approached in night, and that kept them from going to their normal triggered safety of daytime. So important to, when you show up to a village in the dead of night, to lay down, and that'll protect the villagers from getting zomboided. Maybe. Alright, so there's a creeper. And now it's much easier to get up this incline, so good job. Good job, buddy. You really showed me. I think we're going to deal with that little problem, and then just do a waterfall down this whole way here. Yeah, we'll do a waterfall up this side of the mountain, and that'll allow us to, one, have a beautiful view of this vista here, and two, what am I looking at? Is that a zombie inside, or? Nope, just the orange glazed terracotta from far away. The greenness of the offset on the terracotta made me scared. But we'll just throw a water bucket here, and it should go all the way down, and if it doesn't, then we'll just help it along the way a little bit. So anywhere that you think you might have to come back, this is a good way to get up a surface. And it looks like, with no assistance from me, it will be able to get up that jagged way. So, excellent. Very good. I didn't really explore the village much at all. Someone is throwing tridents at me. We're going to identify the source. It's right here. I don't have water breathing, so we're just going to get up real quick, get a little bit of distance. We're going to close into the wall here. He's not going to burn up when he comes up to the surface-ish because he's in the water. But I just wanted to range him a little bit. Bash him, bash him, bash him. Give me your trident. They never want to yield up their tridents. There's like so many of them around, and yet here I am without. A whole bunch of silly drowned zombies here. This one's doing the breaststroke in the opposite direction. He's confused. He means well. Alright, so apparently it's dark enough in this area where they'll just pop in. Which is nice, if you want to kill drowned. Yeah, so it's just dark enough down here where they do just show up here in the middle of the day. Which, you know, if I had inventory space, would be a good way to farm them up. But some of them have like the weird little shells, the nautilus shells that you need for an item called a conduit, I think, which is probably an advancement, but definitely is a thing I haven't built before. But you need several nautilus shells in a heart of the sea, but we've already got one of those. All right, so that's enough of the drowned culling. There's one over there. But I think, yeah, you can tell he doesn't have anything cool to take. So there's no real point in going and dealing with him. But just like the other ruin, it was built quite close to the sea level. Which either shows a predilection for doing this, or is merely me believing it shows this because I have an insufficient sample size. Important to know the limitations of your research, after all. It's such a delight to find something like this when I'm just like going out and looking for adventure, looking for something new, and then to find the exact sort of thing that I was desiring. Oh no! Anyway, that has always been right there. I don't like the way that one ch sounded. I think I might have ruined a good piece of suspicious gravels. We don't want to pop any of this cobblestone. All right, we've got a good piece of suspicious gravel here. I almost messed it up. That would have been a real shame. And from it we get an old sign. Does it have anything written on it? I wonder. You know, it probably doesn't, but we could dream. I'm out of torches, which means the next time I come back, this place will be crawling with orcs. But yes, we will put the chest down. So you hate to throw away a bunch of building materials, but you do like to. You don't want to carry around all this junk. Obviously, we can't leave the pottery shard. Alright. Razor site number 1, no visitors. Now it's clear that we don't want people to get here if they walk to this sign of the sign to read it. Couldn't be more clear. Feel very good about what we have going on there. We'll make another crafting table. And a boat, and when we return, we'll continue on. All right, negative 2.5, negative 1, and we're just gonna keep on going, trying to find new stuff. We'll probably visit the village and see if they have anything worth acquiring, and yeah, just see what goes on. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. Hope you've enjoyed this episode of Minecraft, and hope I'll see you in the next video.